Welcome to my channel GKM Animated Tales. Long ago, there was a man named Jacob who had 12 sons. Jacob loved all his sons, but he had a special love for his son Joseph. To show his love, Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful, colorful coat, unlike anything he'd given to his other sons. One night, Joseph had a strange dream. In his dream, he and his brothers were gathering wheat in the field. Suddenly, his brothers' bundles of wheat bowed down to his. Another night, he dreamed the sun, moon, and 11 stars all bowed to him. When he told his family, his brothers became jealous and angry, thinking Joseph wanted to rule over them. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers who were far away tending the sheep. When the brothers saw Joseph coming, they plotted against him. They said, "Here comes the dreamer. Let's get rid of him and see what comes of his dreams." When Joseph arrived, his brothers grabbed him, tore off his beautiful coat, and threw him into a deep pit. Joseph was frightened and alone, calling out to his brothers, but they ignored him. They planned to leave him there until they saw a caravan of traders passing by. Instead of leaving Joseph in the pit, the brothers decided to sell him to the traders for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph to Egypt, where he would be a slave. To cover their actions, the brothers dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood and took it back to their father, making it look like Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to a man named Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Joseph worked hard, and God blessed everything he did. But one day, he was wrongly accused of a crime he didn't commit and was thrown into prison. Even in prison, God was with him and helped him find favor with the prison guard. While in prison, Joseph met Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker, who had been sent there. Both men had troubling dreams, and Joseph, with God's help, interpreted them. Joseph told the cupbearer he would be restored to his position, but warned the baker that he would be executed, and the dreams came true, just as he said. 2 years later, Pharaoh himself had strange dreams. He dreamed of 7 healthy cows eaten by 7 thin cows, and 7 full heads of grain eaten by 7 thin heads of grain. No one could explain the dreams, but Pharaoh's cupbearer remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about him. Joseph was brought out of prison, and with God's guidance, he explained that Egypt would have 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom that he made him the governor of Egypt. Joseph was given power to oversee the food storage during the years of abundance, so there would be enough food during the famine. When the famine came, it affected all the lands, including Canaan, where Joseph's family lived. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. When the brothers arrived, they bowed before Joseph, just as he had dreamed years ago, but they didn't recognize him. Joseph decided to test his brothers to see if they had changed. He accused them of being spies and later hid his silver cup in his youngest brother Benjamin's bag, threatening to keep Benjamin as a servant. When his brothers begged for Benjamin's freedom, Joseph saw they had changed and cared for each other deeply. Unable to keep it a secret any longer, Joseph revealed himself, saying, "I am Joseph, your brother." His brothers were shocked and afraid, but Joseph reassured them, telling them not to be angry with themselves. He explained that God had allowed everything to happen so he could save their lives. Joseph invited his entire family to live in Egypt so they could be safe from the famine. Jacob was overjoyed to see his beloved son alive. The family was reunited, and they lived together in peace for many years. The story of Joseph teaches us about forgiveness, resilience, and faith. No matter what happens, God can use every situation for good. Joseph's journey from betrayal to forgiveness shows how love can overcome even the hardest challenges.